Hello everyone, it's me again. We're having a little mini heat wave in the UK, which is wonderful. I'm not going to complain about it. It's glorious weather out at the moment. Little bit of wind, giving us a nice breeze. I did try to film this outside earlier because I thought, oh, look at the beautiful blue sky, green grass, the colours are great. Let's film this outside. But the breeze kicked up, was blowing the quilts everywhere, blew the camera over, and look, I'm not professional, not by any stretch of the imagination. I do this for me. I like chatting to other makers, and I do it for me to hold myself accountable, because if I don't, I just let time drift, and I don't want to waste time. So anyway, I thought, I can't post that. I need to come inside. I come inside where it is a bit warmer, but there's no wind is going to make it look like, what did they used to be called? Keystone Cops, you know, where they were always tripping over and falling over. And oh, this morning it was a bit like that. It did make me giggle, gave me a good laugh. But anyway, let's try and do things properly. Right, you know I've got my planner. I've been planning my time. This month is busy because I'm teaching this month, so I'm busy printing off patterns for the students, printing off the pattern pieces, cutting all the pattern pieces out. I do like to have everything prepped and ready to go, so when the students start, they haven't got to waste, a few hours in the afternoon cutting all their pattern pieces out. They're just ready to go. They can then crack on and start making, which is what they want to do. And they can get as much done in the time they've got and can absorb as much instruction as you can when you're at a weekend like that. Sometimes it's you come home and your head is, because you've gone, I go to one every 3 months. So some of the people there I only see at the retreat. So you get there, you're catching up, you're chatting to people, you're trying to work, what are you making? What are you making? You're nosing around, you're looking at everything. If you're doing a workshop where you're learning something new, you're trying to absorb as much of new information as you can. And I come home, and aside from the physical tiredness because of autoimmune diseases, it's the brain tired. I come home and I'm just like, I feel like my head has exploded, and it can take me a week to get over the experience. Although I love the experience, I think anyone who sews, or any sort of crafting really, whatever you do, whether it's paper crafts, making cards, scrapbooks, all of those sorts of things, whether it's origami, whether it's knitting, crochet, whatever you do, if that's your thing and you love it, why not go on a retreat and just immerse yourself in it? What I love is, I don't want to sound like a bit of a diva, but my husband is amazing. My husband will do laundry, will do housework. He does the food shop. He does he loves cooking. So the cooking and the food shop sort of go hand in hand. And because I couldn't do I could do very little when I was recovering from COVID, he took on everything. So he does loads of stuff. So I have a pretty cushy life, really. But when you go to a retreat for whatever craft you do, the beauty of the retreat is you pitch up, you set your table up for whatever you're going to do that weekend, and that's all you think about. At certain times you are called into the restaurant to have lunch, dinner, you have your breakfast, you have your hotel room is all done for you. Everything is laid on for you. You don't have to think about anything other than doing your craft and catching up with friends, which I love. I just think what a great way to spend time. And what a great way to feed into yourself. If you are busy, if you have a job and you work, or you've got a young family, and you know, don't get me wrong, I know life can be hard for some people. So to get yourself away for a weekend and just immerse yourself in something you love doing, it's great. It's great for your soul. It's great for your energy. It's great for your well-being, for your mental health. It's just, you know, if you're a yoga person, go away for a weekend. Spend your weekend meditating, doing yoga, hugging trees, whatever it is, but it feeds into you and it gives you something that you can't always get from everyday life. So that's what I love. I love the fact that I go, my hotel room is sorted out, my breakfast is laid on, my lunch is laid on, my dinner is laid on. I mean, it gets to the point you just stop eating because you eat more there than you normally would at home. They bring you a mid-morning snack, they bring you a mid-afternoon snack. You know, there's refreshments laid on. And we start early in the morning and you sew until you drop. They don't rush us out of the room in the evening. You can stay up as late as you want. You toddle off to your room. You fall into bed, you get up in the morning, you shower, and you just repeat the day. You go, breakfast is done, and you just carry on. And I love it. I love it. It's really good, but it does take a lot out of me, and it takes me about a week to recover. So I've got all my prep to do for that. I've got my 4 days that I'm there, and I've got my week recovery afterwards. So this month is, aside from when I get back, I will do a bit of gentle hand sewing because I'll be able to manage that. Not much else is going to happen this month. Next month is my big project. I've been commissioned to make a very special quilt on behalf of a friend of mine who's no longer with us. She would have made this quilt for her granddaughter had she still been around. So I have been asked to make it on her behalf. So that's another busy month for me, August, because I did let them know that I wouldn't be able to start until August because of things already in the diary. But when I do start in August, where if I was making a quilt for myself, I might spend a day doing all the cutting. And then I might think, oh, I'm bored with that. I'll make something else. And a couple of days later, I'll go back and I'll start sewing and, you know, but I can do things in between. But when you've been commissioned to do a job, that job deserves your full attention from start to finish. So when I start it, I will be doing nothing else next month other than making this quilt. I'm very excited about it because it is mainly orange and pink, which are not colours I would normally use. I do use some pinks, I do use some oranges, but not bold, bright oranges and pinks together. And that's mainly the colour of the quilt. So it's exciting to do it because I've ordered the fabrics and I absolutely love the fabrics. They're fantastic. I can't wait to get going on them. I also can't wait to start putting the blocks together because I know it's going to look good. And I've had discussions with the people who've asked me to do it, and I know they like the idea I've put together for it because it very much suits the recipient. So I am really excited to get going on that, but that will pretty much be all of August, making sure that is done well, done properly, done correctly. And just, I must make a note, I do have to remind myself, my friend did have some labels that she put on the back of the quilts she made, so I do need to get one of those off of her daughter so I can add that to the back of the quilt. for her granddaughter. So so yes, so I've busy July, busy August, plus it's summertime. The grandchildren will be round. They won't be at nursery all the time. One of them finishes nursery next week because he's starting school. My older boy, Dougie, he is starting school in September. I can't believe where the time has gone. I'm like, no, he's too little. I don't want him to go to school. But then I'm also so excited to see him in his little uniform and going off to big school. It's just such a huge moment for them. And I'm really excited for that. But they won't be at nursery all the time. So they'll be round here a lot, especially if the weather's great. You know, they love the garden. They love the pool. I have been asked by Dougie if we can have special Mopsy and Dougie days, and then he wants Popsy and Dougie days, and then Mopsy and Popsy and Dougie days. So we will be seeing him a lot and doing a lot with them, and it's so sweet that he just wants to have a special day where me and him do something, and then my husband and him do something, and then my husband and me do something with him together. It's just so sweet that he wants to spend time with us. I don't know. It's just that feeling of being adored, isn't it? You know, it's wonderful. But anyway, I've got a couple of busy months, but I also am still trying to keep myself accountable and keep myself on track and on top of what I have got to do. They're things I have got to do. I have also got things that have been lurking around in my sewing room, unfinished for ages. And every time I have a bag of shame that sits on the shelf, and every time I look over, I just think, oh, you know, look away quickly. I'll deal with that another time. All it is quilt tops that I've made. And all they need is layering up, quilting, putting the binding on, and they're done. Why can't I just get that last bit done? I have done some of them. I have pulled some of them out of there and done them. But I still have this bag that sort of, it's in the corner. It's going, hello, have you forgotten me? And I just try to ignore it. But one thing I did want to tackle this year, which I haven't done up until now, we're halfway through the year, I'm very conscious of that, but one thing I did want to tackle was emptying the bag of shame. I don't know if I'll empty it by the end of the year. I probably won't. I don't even know how many quilt tops are in there because it's been so long since I've looked at it. And like I say, I have pulled some out and done some, but I don't really know what's in there. So I'm going to show you, being accountable. And once I put it out on here and it's out there in the public domain, I can't hide from it any longer. So this is my bag of shame. Oh God. That is my bag of shame. I don't know how many's in here. I don't know what's in here. I can see what the first one is, and I remember doing that, but I probably made that about 3 years ago. I think that's the most recent one. I can't remember. But I thought, let's be accountable. I'm going to get them out, and I'm going to stick it out there for anyone to see. And then I have to get these done. So I'm going to move the camera back so I can hold them up and show you what I've got. So I'll be back in a moment. Right, hopefully this will be a big enough space for you to see. Hopefully you can still hear me. Quilt one. I made this about 3 years ago, or quilt top one, I should say. I love this. I love the fabrics. I love the soft colours. And I love that it is our Union flag. Can you see it all? Look at these beautiful fabrics, soft colours. I love our flag. I love it not for political reasons. Let's see if I hold it that way. Is that better? Can you see? I just love our flag. I love, honestly, when you see the country, you know, the world's flags. I mean, it's not a big quilt. There's not a lot to do with that. That would be quite easy to finish. So why haven't I finished it? I don't know. But when you see the world's flags, any flag that is red, white and blue, I love. I don't know what it is. The colours pop. I love it. I love it if there's a big royal event and they line the mall with Union flags. It just looks so wonderful. I love our flag. Not for political reasons whatsoever. I love it. So that, I really love that little throw. And now I've seen it again, I'm like, yeah, I do really like that. So I do need to finish that. That is definitely one I need to finish. What's the next one? Oh, this is probably, I would say 10 years old. Look at this. Another little nice size throw. I'll bring it in a bit closer so you can see. It's just random fabrics, random strips made into blocks. I wonder if I need to find a fabric that will go with these, and then I can put some borders on and make it a bit bigger. I think that will be good. But again, it's another throw size quilt. It wouldn't take long to finish it. I could really quilt that nicely as well. So that's quilt 2, quilt top 2, I should say. It's not a quilt until it's been quilted. So that's two that's probably quite achievable. Am I setting myself up for a fall here? Let's see what else we got. Oh, I didn't actually make this one. This needs a bit of trimming. My daughter is 35 now. In her late teens, so 15 to 20 years ago, she liked the idea of quilting. She loved quilts. She quite liked the idea of sewing. She didn't really have time for it. I said to her, no, I will teach you how to make a quilt. So she picked a very simple strip pattern, which is fine by me. I've trimmed all this side. I've just realised when I've hauled it out, I haven't trimmed this side down yet, but that won't take long. I can trim that down. But this is a quilt my daughter made. I love it. I bet she's forgotten she made this, but I will finish it for her. It can be a picnic blanket when she takes the boys out. It can be, I don't know, she might want it as a throw indoors. Who knows? But again, it's another one, it's not that hard to finish it. So maybe I really should attack this bag. I think this was a good move, going through the bag, because you do forget what's in there. You forget what you've done and you forget to finish things. So that's 3 fairly easy throw size quilts. Not hard to do. I could easily finish one of those in a weekend. That's 3 weekends and they're done. Why aren't I doing it? It's ridiculous. Oh, this one is enormous. This is the latest one that's in here, because this I made about 2.5 years ago. I made this for my husband. When did we finish the barn? His barn, we finished his barn. It was 2 years ago. The barn was finished and we had to move into the barn while down that end of the house, that end of the house was pretty much falling down, and our bedroom and bath, there was a bedroom, there was a spare room, there's my bag making room, and the bathroom down there, and it was pretty much falling down. So once we finished Ross's barn outside, which was a nice big room, a small kitchen and a big shower wet room, we moved into there so the builders could just do whatever they had to do here, shut the water off, rip out the bathroom, everything else. So I thought I'll make him a quilt for his barn. This is as far as I got. Now I wonder if I can I get up here? Or will I fall over in front of everybody? Let's see. There we go. I might be able to hold this up better now. If I don't fall off the sofa. That's what I made him. Hopefully you can see that. It's a bit bigger than the others. He loved it when I showed it to him. I made this at a sewing weekend. I brought it home and showed him, and he loved it. But of course, like me, he's probably forgotten I even made the top, because I haven't got around to finding some backing fabric and finishing it off. But that's a bit bigger. So maybe I don't want to be wrestling with this one this size in this heat. So that's quilt top number 4. How many more have we got? Let's see. Bag's getting empty. Oh, this, I know what this is. I ordered, I cannot remember what year. This might be 12, 13, anywhere between 12 and 15 years ago. This was from Fat Quarter Shop, and it was one of their Block of the Month's mystery designer quilts. All you knew was what range of fabric it was, but you didn't know what it was going to be like. It was the first time I did one of theirs like that, and I loved it. Why haven't I finished it then? It's ridiculous, isn't it? We all do this. We all make these lovely quilts, and then we all sit there and go, oh, why didn't I finish it? I don't know. I think I'm a little bit like a magpie. You know, I do something, I get all excited, I start it, I get all excited. I get to this point where I've got flimsy and it just needs the quilting and finishing off. And then I'm like, oh, pretty fabric. What can I make with that? And I'm off doing the next thing. So I might have to get on the sofa for this one as well, because this, I think, is like single bed size. But let's see if I can show it to you. There's that. Can you see? I think you can see. I don't want to get up there again because I hurt my knee getting down, and I might fall over in front of everyone and completely embarrass myself. But I loved this. I loved the fabrics. I loved the floral blocks. I liked the little details in the corner of the borders. Look on the borders, just on the opposite corners. A few little flowers. I loved it. I'm going to have to look up and see what year this one was. Like I say, it could be anywhere from 12 to 15 years ago. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe it was less than that. I can't remember. I mean, COVID was 6 years ago. I know it was way before COVID. So that's another big one. Maybe I won't wrestle with that one this summer. I've got two piles here. I've got the smaller throw size ones and I've got the bigger ones, because I think the bigger ones are going to go back in the bottom of the basket, because I am not going to do them right now. Have we got any more? One more, oh, two more. This again was probably around the time I did the last one from Fat Quarter Shop. This was, I used to buy loads of fabric from Fat Quarter Shop. I used to buy loads of Fat Quarter stacks, not with any plan in mind, just pretty, I'll order it. So I made this out of a Fat Quarter stack and a bit of white fabric. Really nice. I really like that one. I liked the fabrics, couldn't tell you what they were called now, but I liked the fabrics. It's all triangles and then there's rectangles, borders with a square in each corner. Isn't that pretty actually? Just looked at that, I like that. Right, so again, that's about, I would say about a single bed size. So that's one of the bigger ones. How many have I got now? I've got 3 throws, 3 larger ones, and I think there's one more in the bottom. And the one in the bottom is a very, very old one. The reason it's probably still in the bottom is because it was probably one of the first quilts I made. I probably don't like the fabric. I've just had a quick squiz. I don't think I like the fabrics anymore. I think when I made it, I bought a stack of fabrics, which I thought looked quite nice. I think it sort of gave me Little House on the Prairie vibes, which was one of my favourite things growing up. But when I made the quilt, I don't even know if there was a pattern or if I just threw it together. But I think when I made it, I looked at it and I just thought, oh, it looks a bit dreary. So of course it's gone in the bag shame, and it stayed in the bag shame. But this is the last one. So we've got 3 throw size, 3 bigger ones. This will probably just be a throw size. I don't know what to do with this. Do I want to finish it? Oh, I should finish it. It's a waste if you don't finish it, isn't it? But it's very primitive, you know. The fabrics are Little House on the Prairie vibes to me. I don't know if that was a pattern or if I just cut it in strips and added squares. I don't know. But again, it's a throw size. Could be a picnic blanket for someone. Could be a dog blanket for someone. Maybe I could finish it and see if my niece wants it for her new puppy. I don't know. So there's 4 smaller ones. I don't know if I want to make this one. So this one is going to go back in the bottom of the bag. Let's put that in there. Right, the bigger ones are going to go in next because I'm not going to tackle them in this heat. And then, so I've got, let me see, I've got that one. Right, so there's that little one I don't want to do. That one I do want to do, but not now. That one I want to do, but not now. This one I want to do, but not now. So that's 4 in there. I'm now left with 3 throw size quilt tops. That is quite achievable. I could possibly finish those by the end of the year, even with work I've got and work I've got coming up for Christmas. I can probably schedule those in my diary. So let's have a think about this. Right, I've had a think. That's those ones. They're not going to get touched this year. I know that. These 3, I'm going to challenge myself to get these 3 quilted and finished before Christmas. What I do with them then, who knows? The Union flag I am keeping though. Always wanted that one for myself. I will keep that one. Just get it in the bag. So I'm challenging myself. I'm putting it out there. I can't go back on it now. I may not get it done. I'm not going to be precious about it, and I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't get it done. But I do believe it is achievable to get those 3 throw size quilts finished before Christmas. So I'm quite glad I've gone through the bag, actually. I thought it was going to be more horrific. I thought there was going to be some absolute horrors in there that I look at and think, no. And then I would have just had to have ended up donating them to somebody who wanted to finish them, or, I don't know, would use them for something or other. Or if nobody wanted them, I would have had to have finished them and then taken them to the animal sanctuary up the road, because they might have been able to use them. They might have been able to raffle them or use them for the animals or whatever. But those 3, I think, are achievable. I do have another bag of shame out in my room, but that is the pre-bag of shame, because that is quilt tops that aren't quite finished. There's lots of quilt blocks done, but they all need putting together and coordinating and making them into the quilt tops before they can be promoted to this bag of shame. And I am sure when we moved at our previous house, I had a lovely big sewing room out in the garden. I think it was about 7.5 by about 5.5 meters, something like that. It was lovely. But when we decided we were going to move, I thought, okay, I'll condense the sewing room down. I'll just leave out bits I need, because I thought it was going to be a quick process. So I packed a lot of things away, and years ago, we used to go to America an awful lot. And my husband did his thing and I did my thing, which was visit every fabric shop I could find in the area and buy fabric, because at the time the exchange rate was about $2 to the pound. So that made everything like half price. But also the pricing on their fabric was so much cheaper than what we paid over here. So it was just a no-brainer. So I would drop him off wherever he wanted to go. I would take the car and I would just look up quilt shops in the area. Once I'd done all the quilt shops and bought everything I wanted from the quilt shops, then I would go to fabric shops, and we would always have to go to Joann's because my daughter loves stationery and all that sort of stuff, and especially when she became a primary school teacher, there were certain things she couldn't have because of spellings, but supplies for her classroom, it was so cheap in Joann's. So she used to go and fill up a suitcase of stuff. I used to fill up about 3 extra suitcases of fabric and bring it home. And a lot of that fabric is still packed away since we moved, because when we moved, it was a house of 2 halves. There was a small house and there was an annex. And my daughter and son-in-law lived in the annex for the first 3 years. The outbuildings were dilapidated and falling down, and we literally just had this half of our house but all our furniture from our old house, and it was all crammed in here and there was no room for anything. There was certainly nowhere to put a sewing machine up, and that's the reason I ended up with the smaller outbuilding, because I knew that one would get done first and I could have it as my sewing room. If I waited for the barn to be pulled down and done, I knew I'd be waiting years. As it turned out, it was 2 years before that one got done. So when we moved, because I really thought, I'd always said, we renovated our other house. The only original part of our other house literally was the 4 outside walls and the roof. We gutted it inside. We completely changed it. And while we made it a great house, I always said to my husband, I am never, ever living in a house again that we renovate. And so when we decided to move, I thought we would find somewhere that didn't really need anything. And actually, on first viewings here, we walked in, it was like, yeah, great, they've done a bit of work. We can live with this. We'll change things as they go along. But we never thought there was going to be anything major until we moved in and then realised it's not working for us. Also, once my daughter and son-in-law moved out, we then had to link the 2 separate halves and make one whole house. So that took a bit of thought, which led to a bit more renovation than we originally thought. But when we moved in, there was nowhere for me to unpack my sewing stuff. So a lot of the stuff I bought all those years ago is still packed in boxes. And there may also be another bag of shame in there of unfinished quilt tops, or quilt tops that haven't been finished, layered up, quilted and finished. I don't even want to go that far. I'm just dealing with this one at the moment. When I've dealt with this one, I will maybe look at Bag of Shame 2, which is the precursor to this bag, and have a look, see what orphan blocks are in there, see how close I am to finishing quilt tops, and maybe get them done and then move them into the Bag of Shame. And then maybe I might start to go through all the stuff I've got packed away still and see if there is a bag of shame. I'm pretty sure there's a Bag of Shame in there. Even if there isn't, there is... God, I don't know. I could probably open a shop with the fabric I've got packed away. It will be nice exploring it again. I have opened a couple of boxes and it was a bit like Christmas. I was like, oh, I completely forgot I bought that. And I got excited and I did pull some things out and stick them in my sewing room. But then I very quickly hid the boxes back in the loft because I didn't want my husband to really know just how much there was up there. But yeah, so anyway, I think that is my challenge now. I've waffled a bit. I'm ever so sorry. I know I do that. Just ignore me. Fast forward to the end. I have set my challenge now. I am going to try and finish those 3 throw size quilt tops before Christmas. Some people may even get them for Christmas. Who knows? They may just be gifted. They may go in a raffle. They may, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. The Union flag one is definitely mine. I am keeping that. But yeah, that is my latest challenge. And I hope you enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what it is. I hope if you have your own bag of shame or any form of a bag of shame, I hope you're not feeling guilty about it. We should never be guilty. You know, we like what we like. We do what we do. Sometimes we don't always finish things, but is that the end of the world? No, it's not. It's not. There's time. But maybe if you have got a little bag of shame, why don't you get it out and go through it? You might be surprised at what's in there. Like me, you might look and think, actually, that's a weekend. In a weekend, I could completely quilt that, layer it up, quilt it, and put the binding on and be done with it. So you might actually get some stuff done. If you don't have a bag of shame, if you're one of these people that only buys fabric for a particular project and doesn't do anything else until they've done that project, well, hats off to you. I can't work like that. I'm a little bit, I think there's a bit of ADHD floating around, and I'm a bit, ooh, 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 you know. That's just me. That's just how I work. But I enjoy my life. I enjoy doing my sewing. I've enjoyed going through that, actually. Apart from the one right at the very bottom. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know if I'm ever going to get that done. But like I said, it would be a waste if I didn't. Someone will make use of it. Someone would be grateful of it somewhere along the line. So I will do it. But first off, I'm going to do those 3 that are sitting on the top now. And we'll see where we go. I will keep you posted on my progress. Let me know if you think I've made the right decision in picking the right 3 to do, and if you think I will get them done before Christmas. And if you've got a bag of shame, let's have a look. There might be someone out there who's like, oh my word, I love that. And if you don't want it, you could donate it to someone to finish off. You know, let's see where we can take this. Because tastes change over time, don't they? You know, when I first started quilting more than 20 years ago, fabrics I liked then, I'd look at now and I'd think, what on earth was I doing buying that? Your tastes change as you develop more skills. You use fabrics in different ways, so you look at fabrics differently. I know when I first discovered batiks, I remember thinking, I don't need to buy another fabric, because batiks, you can use them for so much. There's so many colours in them. They're just lovely fabrics to use, and they go with anything. And I had a little bit of time where I just focused on batiks, but I do love my florals. I really do. I am a bit samey, but anyway, let me know what your plans are, your sewing plans are leading up to Christmas. If you've got any big challenges to do. I've got a challenging couple of months, and then I've got those 3 to do. I think that's enough challenges for me. I've also got, you know, I've got my EPP block of the months that I'm always doing, and extra ones I've taken on. But there we go. You know, I enjoy doing it. I can sit in my armchair of an evening and just hand piece, and I love that. That is my downtime. That, to me, isn't work. So let me know what your plans are on the run up to Christmas. Are you going to finish up some projects? Are you going to start anything new? Do you have a bag of shame that I've prompted you maybe to go through and have a look and see if you can just finish 1 or 2 of them up and clear them off the unfinished pile? But let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, please, if you like my videos. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Apparently it all helps videos be... I don't understand how this stuff works. Like I say, it's not the be all and end all if people are following me or leaving comments, because I started doing this to hold myself accountable to myself and to clear my head and lay my thoughts out. So it's purely for me, but I do love chatting to other makers. I love hearing their take on things. I like hearing how they do things, why they do what they do. You know, there's a lot of creative people out there, and we all tend to bounce off of each other. So I do love chatting to people. So if you've got anything to say, let me know. And but enjoy the rest of this week, whatever you're doing. Enjoy, if you're in the UK, enjoy summer. Summer has finally come. I'm not calling it a heat wave. I think this is just normal summer. But we've been lulled into thinking, oh, it's warm. Oh, it's a heat wave. Oh, we're on a hosepipe ban. It's just summer. I remember 1976, and when we had a drought and there was no water, you know, that was a bad summer. This is just normal summer. It's just warm. We love it. So enjoy your week, enjoy your sewing, enjoy any projects you've got on the go, and I will see you when I post the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.